I'm from St. Louis, north side St. Louis, Baden. Yeah.
Still reside in St. Louis today?
Yeah, I'm still down there. Yeah.
Now, what was it like for you growing up in St. Louis? Can you paint that picture for us?
Like St. Louis, man. Like St. Louis is whatever you make it out to be. You hear me? Like me personally, I was, just into, everything under the sun. So it was crazy, or whatever. But like I said, like it's whatever you want it to be. You can come to St. Louis. You can be whatever you want. You can be on whatever kind of time you want to be on. It's just on you. But me personally, or whatever.
You say crazy. Your definition of crazy might be different than somebody else's definition of crazy watching this. When you say it got crazier, it was crazy. Explain.
Like with the crazy, I just feel like I was doing a lot of stuff that I didn't have to do. Like, doing, just taking fair chances and life and death things. You know what I'm saying? So it was like crazy. It's doing something I ain't got no damn business doing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what that is. That's what's going on.
Street activity.
Yeah.
What age did that start for you?
As far as like what? Like with the trap shit, or are you talking like just fucking around?
I mean, there's different types of things people do when it comes to street activity. Trapping is one.
Right.
I guess getting money through the streets. What age were you when that started?
Honestly, I'd say probably like around 14. Just starting like fucking around and dipping and dabbing and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Now,
14.
Was it a friend? Was it a family member that put you onto it?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I'd say just being outside and just watching, just being observant. You know what I mean? And just hanging. Like in St. Louis, like, man, you can be around the wrong crowd, you know what I mean, and turn your life from left to right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. It's like it's all on you, like what you want to be into and, all that kind of time. But yeah.
Now, you said you didn't have to be in it. You didn't have to do it. What was your reasoning for it? Was
like when I said like I ain't have to do it, I was just saying on the lines of like anybody like you can do whatever you want. You see what I'm saying? That's just something that I just chose to be on, just on, my environment and just liking the people that I was liking on. You know what I'm saying? So.
Some people, I mean, the reason why I ask is because doing these types of interviews, sometimes you'll hear people are raised in that environment. For some people, they've said it's unavoidable. It was a means of survival. Other people, It could be influence. I don't know if the wrong crowd has something to do with that, but maybe it was peer pressure. Maybe it was greed. Maybe it was curiosity.
It was like my neighborhood. You know what I mean? I'm from the north side of St. Louis. I'm from Baden. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, my hood is just like, all the hoods in St. Louis. It's a hood. You know what I'm saying? You see the prostitution and the drug dealing and the dead bodies and the carjacking and you know what I'm saying? Like, we see this because this is our everyday, So that's how,
How big was gang activity back then?
That was a big thing. Like now it's kind of fading to a point because like everybody wants some money now. You know what I'm saying? So like motherfuckers really ain't tripping like that. But like back then, yeah, it was crazy. It was still colors. It was still like, being on the wrong side of town, knowing you ain't supposed to be over there. You know what I'm saying? Knowing your people just got on some people from over there and you over there and all that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, back then it was crazy. It's still crazy for real. It's just a different type of, it's hard to explain, man, but yeah, it's still that.
Did you join one back then?
Man, I was, just hanging and shit, or whatever.
Now, at 14, could 14-year-olds get a job at that age or no?
At 14?
I don't know the, city ordinances, state laws. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe they're different in different areas of the country, but
at 14, I don't know, unless you had like one of them little passes. But I even thought that was like 16 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But nah, like at 14, nah, we wasn't getting no jobs. It wasn't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't even into stuff like that. Like everything was so negative, you know. So it's like, nah, we weren't into that. Nothing positive, you know.
financially, how'd you grow up? You said you were surrounded by the hood, so I'm assuming poverty here?
Right. Yeah. It was like one of them things where you just, when you got tired of not having nothing, you know what I'm saying, then you gonna go get you something. So that's what that was, you know. And shit, motherfuckers just went and got them something.
Did you ever get out of that class of poverty growing up? Did your family get out of that at some point? Did they move up a class maybe to lower middle?
Yeah. My mom, she had moved. She ended up moving, but I was still down there. Like, you know, I was still down there. I was still hanging and everything, yeah. You know.
Hanging, what does that mean?
Hanging is hanging. Hanging is just being around still, like doing the same thing with the same people. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure it out. Cause that'd be like the biggest thing, just trying to figure out like what's the next thing, what's the next move, how we gonna get some extras. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what that is.
But not officially in a gang, just hanging.
Yeah, just hanging. You know, it's gangs everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But it was more like we just hanging. We just, you know what I'm saying? We ain't really consider us like no gang. It was what it was. You know, just a group of partners and trying to figure it out the best way that we could.
Were you ever close to joining one?
A gang?
Yeah.
I did a lot of gang like shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did a whole lot of shit. You know?
I see.
Yeah.
Now, the street activity path, did you have any other siblings aside yourself on that same path as you, or were you the only one in the family that went that route?
Like as far as with my brothers, like I was the only one. You know what I'm saying? But like the times was different. Like I got my brothers by like maybe 5 and 7 years. So it was like kind of different. Like St. Louis be changing. You know what I'm saying?
You're the older one.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, yeah.
How many siblings did you have?
No, I take that back. No, I got a brother. I got an older brother. And I'm the second oldest as far as with the males. You know what I'm saying?
You had a sister too?
Yeah, I got an older sister too. Yeah.
Now, looking back, dealing with the streets, obviously that's a very risky path. You mentioned, federal chances you were taking at one point. Did you know that from the jump, the risks that are associated, the street path route, or not? I mean, obviously some of the stuff that comes with that is certain levels of stress, the looking over your shoulder feeling, violence, jail, death. Did you know this stuff from the jump?
No, that wasn't even nothing that like we was even thinking about. And that's what it is like with coming up and growing up. It's like you don't be thinking. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, around that time, no, we weren't thinking. No, I wasn't thinking. You know, it took me a while to start thinking. You know, but you know, it is what it is.
Did you end up experiencing some of those obstacles?
What you talking?
Such as violence, such as jail, such as death?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I experienced all that. Anything that came with the street life and everything else at that age, I did. You know, all my partners was on that. You know what I'm saying?
You've been arrested?
Yeah, I've been arrested a couple of times.
Just as a juvenile or as an adult as well?
Shit, as an adult too.
Were you able to beat these type of charges?
I wouldn't be no charges. Shit, they was booking the shit out of me. You hear me? I was going to jail. You know. Yeah, I got 14 felonies. So it's like, yeah, it's really that. You know what I'm saying?
14 felonies.
Yeah, but I ain't glorifying that. It ain't that. But I'm just being 100 with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like we been like outside like a long time. Like before it was like cool. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been doing this shit a long time. Long time.
You've done jail time. Have you ever had to do prison time?
Yeah. Yeah. I had what I did was it's crazy. I did a year. Came out and did another year. And then came out and then shit. And I ain't going back to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's over with.
State prison?
Yeah.
Now, somebody watching this might say, 14 felonies, in and out of jail, in and out of prison. Why not get out of this path earlier, before it amounted to 14? Why 2 or 3 stints in jail? All right, we got to figure a way out.
Cause it's like when you caught up, like I was just so caught up in the lifestyle, man. It's like you be in too deep in the shit for real, like the shit real. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I would have wanted to stop, but I can't stop if that's my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's just harder. It's harder than what people think. People think you can just come in, go and get your money, and then just say fuck it, and then just go straight. And it's like, nah, it ain't that. You know, you can try it if you want. I don't know, everybody different, but me personally, I couldn't do it. It wasn't like I can't just make money and then just turn my phones off and all that and just be on something else. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. I wasn't gonna do it. You know.
Did you even have an exit strategy?
Well, at that time, nah, not even really. I was so caught up with just getting money. I was just getting money, and it's like when you under influence, like you high and doing drugs and you fucking around and all that. You know, you don't really be thinking, you don't be in the right mindset, and I wasn't in the right mindset at all.
The 2 times you did go to state prison, what did you end up getting charged for?
What did I get charged for? Well, one of the years was state. The other one was a city jail, and called a workhouse. But like majority of all my cases is like drug cases. You know what I mean? Like we'll say out of the 14, I'd probably say like maybe 10 of them was like drug cases, and 4 of them was like unlawful uses of weapons and all that other shit. You know, possessions, firearms and all that other shit.
Now, thinking back in your life, going that route, any regrets? Hindsight 2020.
Man, some regrets, man.
Do you regret that path? Do you regret how long you were in that path for? Do you regret some of the things you've done?
No, not for real. Because like everything that I did, you know, made me the person I am right now. You know what I'm saying? So if I would have changed it up, then it wouldn't be this. You know what I'm saying? So nah. Whatever I did then, even the shit that I ain't proud of, I apologize about the shit over with. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't dwelling off a motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And shit, let's go.
Again, hindsight 2020. Was it worth it? Was the risk worth the reward or what you got out of it?
Man, I know this shit sound crazy, man. But yeah, it was worth it to me. It was worth it to me.
Why?
And I would do it again. It's cause it's like the stuff like when you're in the streets for real, it's like you learn so much, you know, like just life and death skills that you'll only know if you was really in the streets. it's like this ain't, it's like you really have to go through this shit to know this shit. You see what I'm saying? I can't teach you this. You know what I'm saying? No, you really got to go through. You got to hit your head a couple times over and over again. You know, but when you actually get it, then it's like, okay, all right, now let me apply this other shit to what I already made. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
When you first started taking this route, did you hide this stuff from your parents?
Yeah. I was hiding it for a long time. But then, like, when I started catching cases and doing all that, it was forced to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, excuse me. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, you know, of course, like, you don't want your mom to know that you trapping and toting pistols and, you know, beefing with them niggas from down the street and all this old shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, but it just was what it was. You know.
When they found out for the first time, okay, he's really into this stuff, what was their reaction?
They was more like, okay, you know, if you're gonna continue to do that, then you deserve to be wherever you're gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I was having the talks with them and everything else, but like I said, I was so caught up, I was so still high. You know what I'm saying? So shit, it just be like, shit, it is what it is. But I wasn't as mature. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me a while to really get myself together. I'm cool now, but like back then, nah, like I was fucking crazy.
Now, when you started trapping, did it start with something a little bit more innocent before it got to that? Like, did it start with maybe selling candy in school? Did it start with selling sneakers to other people? Did it start out with something like that before it got into?
No, it was full blown, straight to that. You know what I'm saying? Like when your partners and people that you look up to is like climbing with that, then you just be on that. Like, okay, that's what I want to do, because I see that's what he doing, and I'm looking up to him. You know what I'm saying? Or them, or, you know. So, yeah, it was full blown with me. Like, I went straight for it. I knew that I wanted some money. I was saying all my partners with money. You know what I'm saying?
Now, you were, at 14, you were obviously in school.
Yeah.
And you were taking this
route.
See,
at 14, that's when I started moving around and trapping and shit like that. But, like, majority of, like, my bigger highlights in that world was, like, maybe 19, 20, 21, okay, you know, around that time.
Did you graduate high school?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious to wonder why you did, because there's people that I interview, and when they get wrapped up in that street path, it comes to a point where it can consume them.
Right.
The money, the lifestyle, I guess maybe they see no need for school anymore. They stop, they drop out at some point. What kept you in it at least to graduate high school?
Well, it was like, I got kicked out a couple times before I graduated, so it wasn't like no easy look, you know, I'm gonna go on and do it. No, like I got kicked out of 2 schools first, and then it was just like, I just wanted to make my mama proud in a way, as far as like with that. You know, that was a big thing for her. You know, she wanted me to graduate so bad, you know.
So was it more self-motivated to finish, or was it her pushing you to finish?
To me, it was her, because I really didn't care. I wasn't caught up. You see what I'm saying? Like, I ain't tripping off that. Like, I was tripping off all the wrong things. You know what I'm saying?
Again, another surprising thing, you being kicked out twice. There's some people I do an interview with, they get kicked out one time, it's over. They're not going back.
Right.
So, just curious.
Yeah.
Now, you did grow up in poverty at first. Did you chip in? Was there a point where you chipped in with money-wise with the family? Bills and that sort of thing, or no, that the timing, you got to lower middle class, or you moved up a class in the economy and you didn't have to chip in?
What happened was, like at that age, I had started bouncing. Like, have you ever been like you know when you get kicked out of the house and now you got to go move with your cousin and them. Now you got to move with your auntie and them. You stay over there for 3 months. You doing this for 4 months. You staying with your partner and them. So it's like it was a rotating thing. So yeah. Everywhere I went, I'm sure I had to do something. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it was something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, just curious.
Yeah.
Now, growing up for you, obviously, especially in the environment you described here, there's obviously a low point and there's obviously a high point. For you, was the lowest point for you growing up getting in trouble with the law, going to jail? Was that it for you, or was there even a lower point, a worse point, a rougher point growing up for you than that?
That was the low point at that age, at those, you know, the younger ages. Yeah.
Well, what would be the high point then? As rough as that sounds, on the opposite end of the spectrum, what was a positive moment for you growing up?
Man, a positive moment.
Yeah.
Man.
What was maybe your high point?
Really, man, really just starting the music thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, that was, like, I've been negative for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, the music, getting into that.
What age did that start?
I started doing music.
Yeah.
I first started doing music, recording, probably like probably maybe like 23, maybe.
Oh, so something.
Probably a little bit before then, like.
But after school, after you had graduated high school, this was something later in your life.
I was rapping then when I was in school, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like recording and doing like little shows, well, matter of fact, I was doing little shows in high school too, but, excuse me, yeah, with the recording, it was like out of school, I think. It's been like kind of so long ago. I was so on and off with the rap thing. Like I wanted to be a rapper, and then I didn't. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was like all the reasons that I wanted to be a rapper, I ended up getting, you know what I'm saying, from trapping. So then it's like, all right, whatever, I really ain't caught up on it, cause I'm getting mine anyway. I'm gonna do what I want anyway. You know what I'm saying? So.
Throughout your period of growing up, while you were in street activity, obviously it started when you were 14 and
Right.
people were maybe not able to get a job at that age. Did you ever try to get a job at one point in your life or no?
Man, I had some jobs. I had probably maybe four jobs in my whole life.
What were they? Give us the resume.
Man, right, I worked at 7-Eleven. You know what I'm saying? I did the 7-Eleven thing.
Okay.
I know I did some fast food joints, like Steak and Shake. You know, that shit, I wasn't going. It wasn't doing it for me. You know, none of them jobs was doing it for me though. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, nah, I'm kind of playing myself.
What position did you have to do at Steak and Shake?
I was a dishwasher. That's how I knew it wasn't it. I think I worked there for like 2 weeks. I got like my first, it wasn't 2 weeks. I'll take that back. It was like maybe 3 weeks. Cause you know when they give you your first check, you buy a week or some shit like that. I don't know, I ain't had no job so long. But it was like 3 weeks, and then I got up out of there. I got that check and went back to, you know what I'm saying?
What'd you do at 7-Eleven?
I was a cashier. Yeah. But it was crazy. It was crazy with the 7-Eleven joint, cause I was still being me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was still getting paper.
On the side, on the clock.
Man, I'm telling you, in real life.
Was that easy or hard to do?
Man, it was easy. That shit wasn't hard at all, goddamn it. You hear me? Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It'd be times like I forget all about like my paycheck. I think we was getting paid every week or something like that. But I was already making money up there. You know what I mean? On my own, it would be like when check came, they had to remind me, hey, you know your check back there. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even caught up on that shit. I swear to God.
These jobs that you did have, did you quit them all? Did you get fired from any of them? How did that work out?
Yeah, I was quitting the jobs. I think, you know what, my last job, when I was at 7-Eleven, boom, I got fired from there though. You know what I'm saying? Because I was moving around so much, like the bosses and them, they had already knew, so they was like, yeah, we gotta get him up out of here. You know, he having too much fun, goddamn it. Motherfuckers pulling up, you know, all that. So, yeah, I got fired from there. They wasn't fucking with me.
Now, any crazy stories happen at any of these jobs? Anything that happened out of the norm? I mean, obviously you were doing two things at once, so that is out of the norm. But anything aside from that, any crazy stories that happened while you were on the clock?
Crazy stories.
Yeah.
Not really crazy stories. I done had like motherfuckers like ran off on me. You know what I'm saying? Knowing I can't chase their ass down on motherfucking work because I'm on the clock. You know, I done had like little shit like that, little dolphin games and shit. But no, not really. Not really. Because I knew I was coming to work. Wouldn't work. So I was just trying to get to what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Now, when it comes to living in poverty, from the time you did, what did that teach you?
It taught me, man, that you gotta move away from you know, all the crazy things that you don't want to be around, you know, because it's like if you don't move around and shit, then you're gonna be stuck. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be stuck in the same shit that you saying that you don't want to fuck around with. You know what I'm saying? And I just knew I had to get me some money, you know, cause my everyday is like dope fiends, man. You know what I mean? Have you ever just stayed somewhere where it's like as soon as you leave off the street, that's all you see. Shit, even on the street, that's all you see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just so tired of seeing this shit. It's just fucking crazy, man. Especially when you start maturing and start noticing like, and you start traveling and you start noticing that everything ain't the same like this. You just be like, nah, this ain't for me. I gotta get the fuck around this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I can't remember if you stated it in this interview or not, but how did your family move up to another class, like lower middle class? How did they get up out of that environment?
Working. Simple. Working. But it'd be like they was on a different kind of time. It was like they was telling me, like, listen, you don't need to do that. This is what it's gonna end up to that. You know, but at a young age and when you're not mature and shit like that, like you don't be listening. You know, you think you know it all. You got a pocket full of money. You know what I'm saying? You fucking bitches. You know what I'm saying? You spending this shit. So it's like, you don't be listening. You high, you know.
Was
So,
there
yeah, I was tripping.
Was there ever a point where you were making more money than one of your parents?
Oh, hell yeah. Shit, that ain't hard. Shit, I was making money than a lot of motherfuckers' parents. Shit. You know what I'm saying? So.
Do you think your parents ever knew that?
Man, I'm positive. Maybe, you know what? They probably didn't even want to even think about it. But they gotta know it. I mean, you know, you gotta know it. You can see a motherfucker that got some paper. You can just see it. Ain't no hiding that. You can't hide that. You know? Yeah, that shit crazy.
If they knew that, do you think that changed the dynamic of how your parents treated you? Or no?
If they knew
that you were making more money
than
than they were.
Um,
Did they talk to you a certain type of way? Did they act a certain type of way? If you feel like they ever caught on to that?
No, they didn't. It wouldn't change because maybe they wasn't into even thinking too far into it like that. Like, I think they was kind of like, I don't know. It's like they knew it was real, but then they didn't want to dig deep into it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't know. They didn't know.
Did you treat your parents differently when you were making more money than they were? Did you talk to them a certain type of way? Did you ever get out of character or?
I'm sure I got out of character. Like, I'm positive on that. You know, I'm positive I said some shit that, you know what I mean, I shouldn't have said. You know, yeah, hell yeah, man.
Somebody watching this this interview, and maybe, you know, the poverty description you provided, maybe they're in something very similar. Do you have any, and circumstances could be different for everybody watching this, but do you have any advice to somebody that has to grow up in poverty themselves? Anything you would say to that person watching today?
Like, on the real, man, go get you some money, bro. For real. Cause it's like, you know you don't like this shit. You know you don't like waking up and just seeing all that old bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta do something, dog. You gotta change. You gotta, you know. And when I say go get you some money, I ain't saying like you gotta go trapping and selling dope and shit like that. Take your ass, get you a little job or whatever you gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Go to school, do something, but just don't just sit there and not do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get caught up in the sipping syrup with my partners. You know what I'm saying? Staying high with my partners because you'll get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was caught up in that. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, just go get you some money, dog. Really.